Earlier this year while browsing eBay, I came across this auction. The details just said warhammer bits, and there were only these 3 pictures attached. I wasn't sure exactly how to start this video, but the message I wanted to focus on was simply, don't judge a book by its cover. The third picture here was of most interest. As you can clearly see, 2 full sprues of rhino bits, which is mostly what you need to build a rhino. As I took stock of the other parts again, I thought there would be enough pieces here to build a full rhino tank, maybe even an Immolator. Since I'd been collecting Sisters of Battle for a while, this was very desirable. I was also very pleased to get this auction at a fraction of the price of an actual rhino, which I guess you can expect because the details on the auction weren't very clear. So join me after the intro to see if this ended up being a viable tabletop tank, or see if I made a big mistake. Before we start, I just wanted to mention that this footage is from February, so I hadn't started this channel at the time, and I didn't really have an effective way to capture the painting process. So I couldn't do a full painting guide on this particular item, but I hope this video is still interesting to watch. Anyways, this is what arrived, a Forge World bag full of plastic. As I went through the parts, I was pleased to see most of them turned up, however there were a few small pieces pictured in the eBay posts that were missing. I didn't make a fuss because they weren't pieces I particularly needed anyway. These things happen when you take a gamble on eBay listings with very limited details. There was a mix of resin and plastic in the box. While I had some choices for bits to choose from either plastic or resin, I went with the plastic every time because it just felt higher quality. As the tank took shape, I was quite excited by its potential. It appeared I had enough pieces to make a working convertible that could either be a Rhino or an Immolator, depending on what I needed. I started by giving the tank a coat of red paint to stay with the Bloody Rose Adepta Sororitas scheme, highlighting the top areas with white ink. I painted the tracks while they were still on the sprue just to save a bit of time. I'm not great at freehand painting on plastic, but I felt the banner needed something fitting in with the Bloody Rose theme, so I came up with this. It's not perfect, but in my head canon, it was painted by a canoness while waiting for battle, and she probably didn't have the best painting supplies in the ruins where they laid in wait. Anyways, this is the end result. It's always fascinating for me to see a model go from grey plastic to something that can be effectively used in a tabletop game. This model in particular was quite old and had probably been sitting in a box for a long time, so I was very happy to give it some life. As mentioned, I didn't have a lot to show or talk about in this video, only if you dig into those eBay listings that don't look like much on face value. Sometimes you can find some real gems that are both cheap and look amazing in your fleet. So what's the best model that you have found on eBay? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.